Welcome to the MiningNewsWire Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's MiningNewsWire Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining this podcast from the MiningNewsWire, brought to you by the Investor Brand Network. I am your host, Stuart Smith, and I want you to go to the investorbrandnetwork.com right now. Click on the Clients tab, and from there in alphabetical order, you're going to find LaFleur Minerals Incorporated. The company's traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol LFLR, and here in the United States on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol LFLRF. We've got two guests from the company today, and I'm going to get to who they are and what they each bring to the table, but I also want you to go to the company website. It's a beautiful website, and that is LaFleurMinerals.com. If you're Cajun, you'll know how to spell LaFleur. If not, let me do it for you. LAFLEUR Minerals.com. As I mentioned, we have two guests today, and we're lucky enough to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the company. That's Paul Ténière. And Paul is a seasoned mining executive and professional geologist with over 25 years of global experience. We also have the corporate side of things covered today with Kal Malhi. He's the chairman of the company, and he is the founder of Bull Run Capital, where he has raised over $300 million for early stage companies. So it does sound like we've got the perfect meeting, or yin and yang, from both gentlemen as we welcome to the show. Paul, first we say hello to you. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Hi, Stuart. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you and speak with you today. And Kal, we're going to start with you, but first let me start with a welcome to the show. Thanks for making time for us.
Oh, thanks for having us, Stuart.
Absolutely. So Kal, as I mentioned, on the operational side of things, for those who may not be familiar with the company, and I mean on the corporate side of things, I should say, on the corporate side of things and how the company was put together and developed, I'm assuming that is your wheelhouse. So tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, Stuart. Stuart and myself, we have a venture capital company called Bull Run Capital, which is private, family owned. We also have an investment issuer that's listed on the TSX Venture Exchange called Colored Ties Capital. So through those two entities, we do startups, incubations that we develop, and then we take them public, fund them publicly, and develop those projects publicly. That's how LaFleur was established, was with the backing of Bull Run Capital and Colored Ties Capital.
Excellent. Well, Paul, let's now step into the operational arena. As I mentioned, your history in this field is extensive and well known, really, as a mining executive and a professional geologist. So operationally speaking, and we can find a lot of this at the Investor Brand Network under the investment considerations. But again, pull up LaFleur Minerals there, everyone. Paul, if you would, give us an overview of what the company is doing and operating in now.
Yeah, so we're an interesting company in the fact that we have an advanced gold project called the Swanson Gold Deposit that's located in near Val-d'Or in Quebec in the Abitibi Gold Belt. It's a very prolific gold mining district in Canada, if not the world. And we also have an active gold mill that we also purchased that is 50 kilometers to the south of Swanson Project. So we're really sort of a near-term producer is how we're looking at ourselves with deposits, and we're looking at taking the ore from those deposits to the Beacon Mill. So we're exploring, but also doing advanced development and production.
And there's great updates on the newswire for this company as well, using those ticker symbols that I gave out in the beginning. Well, let's learn a little bit about our guest today. Kal, You've got, as you mentioned, that investment banking background. Tell us a little bit about what brought you here today to work with LaFleur Minerals, and kind of more about your background and who you are. And then we'll learn about Paul and any other key members of the team.
Yeah, Stuart, myself with Bull Run and myself, I've been in the market since 2008. We've done a number of different deals. I had a big win with a potash deal in 2008 called Raytech Metals that eventually was sold into Africa Oil. Subsequent to that, I've done technology deals out of universities. I had a deal called Patriot One, which was a concealed weapons technology that we started and had a $700 million market cap within 2 years. When cannabis was hot, rather than start growing marijuana, I developed a marijuana breathalyzer for impaired drivers. And my background is policing. Before this, I was a police officer with the RCMP. So with the breathalyzer, again, we had a $600 million market cap when the marijuana stocks were hot. Both of those companies, Patriot One, the concealed weapons, and cannabis, are still listed. Patriot's changed its name and it's on the main board. Toronto as Extract One, and cannabis, the breathalyzer deal, is in the final stages of developing a breathalyzer for law enforcement. So we have a history of success in the capital markets, not only technology, we've got mining, as I said, potash, we've got a graphite project in Graphite One that's at a feasibility stage. And just to move forward to LaFleur, 2 years ago, I started looking at the opportunities in gold mining sector, and I didn't want to go and acquire a grassroots project where we'd have to start with surface sampling and drilling. But I did come across a bankruptcy, 2.5 years ago. The capital markets for junior explorers were very dead, and Monarch Mining went into bankruptcy, similar to some other deals such as West Red Lakes, Madsen Mine, and others. And we were able to bid on assets in the bankruptcy at a time when gold was $1,800 an ounce. We were able to win a bid on the Beacon Gold Mill, which Monarch had upgraded to $20 million in upgrades. It's fully permitted, ready to rock, ready to restart. And then we also acquired a nearby gold deposit called the Swanson Gold Deposit. And those were both in the bankruptcy. And the reason we were able to get it was we had the financial standing in Bull Run and Colored Ties to make those bids. And we put that deal together. We turned that project into LaFleur Minerals. That's what LaFleur Minerals now is. It's a permitted gold mill we're looking to restart production with a nearby deposit called the Swanson deposit. And again, after acquiring those, we've expanded the Swanson project to be very large in size. Before, it was small in size and almost second and third tier for a lot of companies. Now Paul will speak to that. It's a very district scale size, very likely to be in excess of 1 million ounces, we're hoping, with this year's exploration. And that's what LaFleur Minerals is. It's a gold focused company based in Val-d'Or. Val-d'Or has historically been a mining town. The Abitibi gold belt in Val-d'Or is one of the best gold belts in the world. And we've got an operating mill ready to restart, surrounded by not only our own deposit, by numerous other deposits.
Well, excellent. Thank you for that, Kal. Paul, let's learn a little bit about you and your history as a geologist, and really kind of what brought you to be the CEO of LaFleur Minerals. Take it away, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Stuart. I've been kind of lucky to have a very interesting career as a geologist. In the fact that I've started from the discovery phase, early exploration, worked through all the way through the mining cycle, essentially all the way up into production with very large operations in multiple commodities, including coal, potash, gold, base metals. Been very lucky to have that experience and working through the entire cycle. So that does give me a lot of confidence in dealing with more advanced projects. So as I said, I've been involved in base metals and gold. I also worked at the Toronto Stock Exchange for a few years, working as a senior listings manager there and the mining expert, which was an excellent experience, working in the Canadian capital markets and getting exposed on the business side of the mining industry, which is a very interesting, and raising capital, corporate governance, you name it, was involved in all aspects, including with the venture exchange as well. So very comfortable in that aspect of the business. I've been running companies and involved in the junior space since 2018. Specifically started again in base metals and then quickly moved into gold. Been involved in projects all across Canada and internationally as well, and been involved with LaFleur for quite some time now with Kal. And we're really excited because of the amazing prospects in the Abitibi, especially with the Swanson project, and the fact that it was a project that was looked at in the past by Nico Eagle in the last sort of 20 years, if not less. At the time, gold prices were a little bit lower and the deposit was a bit small for them, but they did put quite a few advanced studies into it. So when we acquired the project, we had a significant amount of technical work that had been done. But as Kal mentioned, since we took on the project, we've grown it substantially. So it went from something around 6,000 hectares to now it's almost 166 square kilometers, and through different acquisitions, because we're looking at Swanson as on a regional sense, in the sense that there's multiple deposits within that area that would potentially feed ore to the Beacon Mill. So part of what I do on a day-to-day basis is really just managing all of that, working with our technical teams, and also involved highly on the technical side as a geologist and working with our engineers to really try to get these projects developed as quickly as possible so we can get them into production.
Well, Paul, I want to stick with you for this next question, and then I would like to get Kal's input on it as well. When you look back on the year so far, 2025, and feel free to go back further, but what do you see as some of the major milestones you've been able to achieve, not only as a management team, but as a company with the boots on the ground?
Yeah, we've done an amazing job actually in the last year, really, since we acquired Swanson and Beacon. I'll speak first about Swanson. So one of the first things we did, we had flow-through financing in place. And with that, we were able to look at the entire project area. So we did exploration, we did high-resolution airborne geophysics, and we're looking for major structures within the Swanson project itself. That host this is an orogenic gold belt. So essentially you look for these fault structures, these major structures, you're going to find gold. So we spent a lot of time doing that, and we've actually come up with some amazing data from that. From there, we were then looking at drill hole targeting because our plan is to eventually drill these deposits out. We've come up with well over 50 targets on the it's hard to actually choose where you're going to drill. There's so many targets. And so now we're in the planning stages for drilling. We will be drilling pretty much any time now. We're just waiting for our final permits from the government, and we're going to be out drilling. We're already prepping for the drilling. We're planning on drilling at least 5,000 meters, but we'll probably be much higher than that. And we'll be focused on areas where there is known historical resources, where we're basically going to drill and also expand off those historical resources to bring them into the modern standards. And again, as Kal said, we're looking to reach at least 1 million ounces, and we think we definitely can get over 1 million ounces just on Swanson alone. So that's what we're really focused on. With Beacon, one of the first things that the mill was on care and maintenance for only a short period of time since Monarch Mining went into bankruptcy. And they had spent over $20 million to refurbish the mill just before it closed in early 2023. So what we've done is we've actually, with some of the existing staff that had been involved in that project, we actually hired them to actually do a restart plan. Essentially, what would it take to get the mill restarted? And luckily, because the mill's in excellent condition, it's very much just more maintenance and minor repairs that need to be done in a very short time frame of 4 to 6 months, if not less. So that's really what we've been focused on. It's been very busy. We have, as I said, very strong technical team, engineers, geologists. We're even looking at metallurgists. We're looking at all kinds of technical expertise, and we're doing as much as we can in-house as well.
Well, that's an excellent overview on 2025. But Kal, anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, Stuart, just as a summary, I think for investors, we want to relay that we're an advanced gold company. You know, we're not starting with grassroots exploration. We've got a permitted mill in the top tier gold belt that's ready to restart. We've got a nearby gold deposit that can get us to produce 15,000, 20,000 ounces immediately. With the goal of building that into 1 million plus ounces. But even the bigger picture down the road is that permitted mill is a huge asset. You know, we acquired it when gold was $1,800. Gold's now $3,300 an ounce. And the economics have changed phenomenally. And now gold deposits in the Val-d'Or region want to produce gold as quickly as they can, and we're one of the only mills that's available to produce ounces. So we'll do it from our own property at Swanson, but we may look at producing for other deposits in the region as well.
Well, let's stay with you, Kal, because I would like to get a message to those investors that you just mentioned there. And let's talk about the remainder of 2025. We're right here in the middle of the year practically. So what do you see as some of the operational and just goals in and of themselves that you would like to see the company achieve here in 2025?
Stuart, as Paul said, we like to pat ourselves on the back and say we've done an amazing job advancing this, which we have. But, sometimes what we do alone doesn't stand up. And I think what really stands up is what's happened in the price of gold and the market for gold junior exploration companies. In the last month, we've seen significant inflows of cash into gold juniors. And I think we'll continue to see that. And we will be restarting our gold production. So going forward, we'll have lots of news, not only from the production side with the restart at our Beacon Gold Mill, but also with drilling results from our Swanson project, which we're going to be starting to drill very quickly here. And again, that puts us in a gold producer category. So if investors are looking for gold investments, we are in the best mining jurisdiction in the world with a mill that's ready to restart with a very small restart budget. And I think that offers a great investment opportunity for investors looking for a gold investment.
Well, that's what we're looking for here at the Mining Newswire and on this podcast as well. And I want to thank you gentlemen so much for sharing with me today. So let's break it back down and give out some of those important informations. LaFleurMinerals.com is where you can find updates on all their projects. They're traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol LFLR and on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol LFLRF. We're speaking once again with the CEO of the company, that is Paul Ténière, as well as Kal Malhi, who's the chairman of the company. Gentlemen, I welcome you both back onto the screen right now to thank you both. But Paul, let's start with you. Any closing thoughts or comments for the shareholders and listeners, even about the industry? As Kal's pointing out, what a meteoric rise in gold. What a time to be speaking to both of you gentlemen. But Paul, any thoughts, any closing thoughts for us today?
Yeah, one thing I just want to mention, and Kal touched on it as well, is the one key thing is that sets us apart from some of the other players in the area is that we have a mining lease at Swanson. And because of that, we're able to get it into production a lot quicker than if we didn't have that. So, and our plan is also to submit an updated mine plan to Quebec government to mine up to 500,000 tons at Swanson, and that would be something that we could do in a matter of months, and it would not take years. So that's one thing that does set us apart in the fact that we can get ore to the mill rather quickly. Overall, just in the scheme of with gold hitting over $3,000 an ounce, it makes a lot of these deposits very economically viable. And that's the one thing, and that's why we're seeing a resurgence in the Abitibi, and not just in the Abitibi, but around other gold deposits in Canada, the United States as well, and some of the sort of more forgotten deposits in the past because they were either considered too small. But now with these prices the way they are, we're seeing a lot of interest in these, and we're able to get these projects up and running fairly quickly. We can either follow a bootstrap approach, use ore sorting technology, which is something that we are looking at doing, to increase the grades so that when we're hauling the ore to the mill, we're increasing the grades, and it makes recoveries and it makes more economic sense. And you're seeing that across the industry for large to small projects. So I think it's an exciting time to be in gold because there's more projects that are going to be going into production, and we're able to do that. So that's really all I wanted to add as well.
Well, that's great. Thank you for that addition, Paul. And Kal, any closing thoughts or comments for the investors, the shareholders, and the listeners?
No, Stuart, just to take a line from Mr. Donald Trump, we're in a golden age, I believe. And for LaFleur, that truly means the price of gold and what we can do with our assets. So we're very grateful to be in this position, and we welcome investors to reach out to us with any questions.
Excellent. Yeah, you could do that again. That's at the LaFleurMinerals.com website, and it's just info at LaFleurMinerals.com. Well, once again, I'm thanking Paul and Kal for their time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here today at the Mining Newswire podcast. We look forward to great things from you and your company here in 2025 and well beyond. Listeners, and viewers, we couldn't do it without you, so we'd like to thank you. If you have questions about the company, you can hit the comment section below. Of course, we welcome you back and all of your feedback here at the Investor Brand Network as well. So for Paul and Kal, this is Stuart saying thanks so much for tuning in.
The Mining Newswire podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.